Chapter 2 First Blood. The rumble of approaching war machines sent vibrations through the ground beneath Carter's boots. The night sky above the Polish border was dark, save for the occasional glimmer of aircraft patrolling overhead. Inside the U.S. Forward Operating Base, soldiers scrambled into defensive positions. The war had begun, and Russia was making the first move. Carter crouched behind a sandbag wall, gripping his rifle so tightly his knuckles turned white. Around him, the air buzzed with radio chatter. Officers shouted coordinates, medics prepared for incoming casualties, and engineers reinforced barricades. "Listen up," Sergeant Lewis barked. Stepping into the center of formation, Russian forces are advancing from the east, armor and infantry. Our job is to hold this position until reinforcements arrive. His gaze swept over the soldiers. "We do not break. We do not retreat. Understood?" A chorus of "Yes, sir" rang out. Carter stole a glance at Private Mason, his closest friend in the squad. Mason gave a nervous grin. "Guess this is it, huh?" Carter exhaled sharply. "Yeah, stay close." When the first artillery shell screamed through the sky, the explosion ripped through a section of outer defenses and debris flying. Dirt and fire erupted into the air as soldiers scrambled for cover. A second shell followed, then a third, each strike inching closer. The Russian assault had begun. "Contact! Enemy armor spotted!" a scout shouted over the radio. Carter peeked over his cover, his breath catching in his throat. Russian T-90 tanks had rolled over the horizon, their turrets swiveling to lock onto U.S. positions. Infantry marched behind them, their silhouettes barely visible in the flickering glow of burning debris. "Anti-tank teams, take position," Lewis ordered. Missiles streaked through the air, slamming into the first wave of Russian tanks. One exploded in a ball of fire, but the others kept moving, their cannons roaring in response. Gunfire erupted. Carter lined up his sights and squeezed the trigger. His rifle bucked against his shoulder as bullets zipped towards the advancing enemy. The air was filled with the deafening symphony of war. Machine guns shattering, men shouting, explosions shaking the earth. Mason fired beside him. "They just keep coming. Keep shooting," Carter yelled. For what felt like an eternity, the battle raged. Russian forces pressed forward, bodies falling on both sides. Carter reloaded, his hands shaking from adrenaline. Then, the sound of jet engines roared overhead. "Air support inbound!" A squadron of U.S. fighter jets streaked through the sky, releasing precision bombs. The ground trembled as explosions tore through enemy armor, halting their advance. The remaining Russian forces hesitated, then began to retreat. The radio crackled. "Base secured. Casualty teams moving." Carter slumped against the sandbags, his chest heaving. He had survived his first battle, but as he looked around at the bodies of his fallen comrades, he realized this was only the beginning.